Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sam Zagar. I think you're going to like this one today. And I don't even know what I'm going to say about it, but I love getting a different intake from what I've had before. We're going to hop straight into this one because you're going to love the first question. Are you having a problem you need help with? No. Love that. Why are you here? What's your biggest question? Am I taking my time creating my coaching business because it takes time? It's been 2 years to set it up. Or is there a part of me that's using it as an excuse to smooch off of other people because my income is low? I'm doing free coaching sessions for people and I'm working on writing my material for my book, which I'll also use as content to attract clients. I have access to and use of many resources, but they're not mine. I did not create them myself. For example, my partner and I live with family in their house for free, and the family's almost never home. Part of me feels guilty that I'm not really contributing financially, even though we always have everything we need and are super blessed. I'm not actively working on making money. I know it will come with what I'm doing. I'm supported in this by the people around me. But the thing about things not being mine or what I created myself bugs me. I've created two six-figure businesses before, but they both crumbled eventually. What else are you curious about? Am I holding myself back? Okay, let's get the body graph up. Are you seeing how many channels this person has? And also, they still only have 6 centers defined. There's like a shocking, they have the gate of shock, but there is a shocking amount of channels for how few centers there are, which tells me we hit the integration network really hard. Within the bigger circuit groups, there are smaller sub circuits. Individual circuitry has integration inside of it. And this person, they got like the entire integration network. If also, okay, if they had gate 25, they'd also have the whole centering circuit. 25 is on in the transits right now. Let me just confirm that for you, which won't be relevant for people that might watch this way further down the road. 25 is on in the transits right now. 25 is on for another 400 and something days. You're going to have the channel of initiation on for more than the next year. You have the whole integration network, the whole centering circuit, and an insane amount of individual circuitry. That's the first thing that's standing out to me about this reading we're doing. The next thing that stands out to me is I've got a 3-6 profile. I just got very excited because I'm a 3-6, right? All transitional profiles are rare, but I have a special like for the 3-6 and the 6-3 because the first 30 years for these people is the double third line life. So no matter what, I'm going to take into consideration that this person is 38 years old, and until they turned roughly 30 years old, they were living a double 3-3 life. Did I get any validation of that in their intake form? I created two six-figure businesses before, but they both crumbled eventually. Okay. Was that pre-Saturn return? Probably not. I'm thinking maybe one of them might have been pre-Saturn return. Why did they crumble? It's an interesting thing for a sacral being. So I've got a pure MG right now. It's interesting for a sacral being to acknowledge something as crumbling, as in the building is falling apart. I've also got a third line though, right? So it's like, did it break and then it fell apart? As in it didn't last because it didn't work. So what didn't work about it? And maybe like you didn't work about it. Maybe you didn't like it. Maybe you lost your response. Now I'm going to go to like, because sometimes I can get really lost in the details of things, right? I want to zoom out to the biggest picture possible. I'm dealing with a sacral being. I have an open and enveloping aura. Get in here for the big, warm, cozy hug kind of feeling. It's attractive, it's magnetically attractive. Everything is supposed to be coming to the sacral being. Their job ultimately is to let the thing come to it, to ask it, and then to either respond with, yes, I have energy. Yes, I can commit to this. Yes, this is sustainable. Yes, I imagine this is going to be satisfying. I hope that this is going to be satisfying. I'm anticipating satisfying based on the positive response. But if there's the, like, I don't have the energy, I can't commit to that, I'm not into that. This is really ultimately how the generator is here to get to know themselves. And if we're going to look at what is the existential question for the type, the sacral being's existential question is, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Which is freaking hilarious in this design because I've got the channel of awakening. I am now. I am now. Like this person could be like, who am I? And their own voice would be like, I am now. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of fun with this chart. I'm also loving the fact they're across of the sleeping phoenix. Not only are they across of the sleeping phoenix, but their design sun is 55-6. Okay, gate 55. I mean, all of these gates are this is the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So all of these gates are very relevant. You see how fast I want to talk about some things when I get excited? I think the channel of charisma is hijacking me right now in this reading. I have to like slow my little fake motor mouth down right now because I'm getting so excited about all the different things that I'm seeing. I will talk a lot of the time about 55-6 in its significance for 2027, but it's 55. Like the entire gate is significant, but we retrograde through the lines, through the colors, through the tones, and ultimately we go backwards into things. So right now we're in a first color motivation. We have a fear frequency. We're in a one time as we're ending the cross of planning. But when we end the cross of planning and we move into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, it starts with a 6. It starts with the point 6. And not only the point 6, it also starts with the theme of innocence. I'm really like stumbling over my mouth here because every time I say something, I see something else in the chart and I'm like, oh, they also have innocence motivation with acceptance sense behind it. Oh, mm, mm. If you're a 55-6, a 59-6, you have innocence motivation with acceptance sense behind it. I really want to say something that I really want to say, but if there's any like religiously fanatical people listening to this, it could go sideways when they misinterpret what I'm saying. But I just want to point out there's a quality here in a point 6, point 6, point 6. When you got a lot of this 6, let's just say it's a significant transition into a new time. I see someone with some of the qualities that you have as being very, very significant for some of the coming changes. I'm getting really cool goosebumps right now. I want to go back up to where you said, am I taking my time creating my coaching business because it takes time? It's been 2 years to set it up. It's like, you know that your thing is coming, but you're not freaking out to get there faster. I want to give you some recognition for that. You're not freaking out to get there faster. If anything, you're like, should I be freaking out about getting there faster? Should I be like, should not care more, but like, should you be driven by something that makes this happen faster for you? There's a very good chance you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing in the exact timing that you're doing it. Just the fact that you were like, I have access to support and resources and I'm fine. I'm like, no wonder you said you didn't have a problem you need help with. Like, this is amazing. Most of the time when people want to work with me, they're like, I got an issue, help me out. And you're more like, I'm just double checking that I don't have an issue. And I'm like, you don't. I'm not envious of your life, but I'm like, uh, super pumped for you to be there. Super pumped for you to be there. I think the only reason I don't feel envious is because, like, I really love what I have going on in my life. But it sounds like what you have going on in your life is also awesome. You said super blessed. I love that for you. It feels so good for me to get information like this. So you're developing yourself. Okay. I've got a passive brain and a receptive mind. You were taking in, taking in, taking in, taking in, taking in, taking in, taking in. But there's also a quality of trial and error. You want to play with the things that you take in. The third line is like a really wants to have a shameless process. When the third line's experiencing shame, that's kind of a not self theme, right? The shame is like, oh, I messed up. You don't really need to have that as a third line, because what you should actually have is, oh, I found the like hidden solution. I found the adaptation. I found the alchemy. I found the transformation. Like, I found the thing that could work, rather than the like, can't find the thing, keeps not working. Like, the one isn't really supposed to be afraid. The one is supposed to be curious. You know, the three isn't really supposed to be shameful. The three is supposed to be open to adaptation. So I can sense that you're playing. I can sense that you're adapting. There's an innocence to you as well, with an acceptance sense behind it, which means in many ways there's detached is not necessarily the word I want to use, because detached is actually quite good for the role model on the roof if we're looking at the line. But innocence isn't so much a quality of detached. It's more like a quality of like being in your world. Like, you're not detached. You're very actually quite involved, but like in your own process. The level of 6 that I get from within your sun and earth, both on the design and personality side, it really does have this quality of like, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my own thing. I'm totally up. I'm doing my own thing. And then, like, when I pair that with a channel of charisma, oh my God, I can't, I'm busy. I'm doing my own thing. I can't, I'm busy. I'm doing my own thing. I can't, I'm busy. I'm doing my own thing. I'm writing a book. I can't, I'm busy. I'm writing a book. I'm doing my own thing. Okay. Are you in the right environment? Okay. So you're staying in a house that doesn't belong to you. A part of you is like, I don't know if I should feel bad about this. Am I schmoozing off of people? But what value are you bringing to the home? And this is an interesting thing, because you said, like, I'm not really contributing financially. And that's totally different from what I asked you. I'm asking you now, which is like, how are you making the home better? Like, how are you're saying contributing financially, but I'm like, what's the value in having you in that house? It's not necessarily contributing financially, it's contributing energetically. And when I say that, I'm not saying like, you do the laundry. Good job for contributing energetically. Oh, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a thing here. And I'm so excited about this, because this is a sacral conversation at the end of the day. I want you to know the value that you have in the house that you're in, even if you never contribute financially. Because what I sense from here, when I said, is there a problem you need help with? You said no. As a sacral being, that's correct. Like, you're pure sacral. Yes or no, right? Like, you can do that. And you said no. That tells me that you're not in a super frustrated sacral black hole kind of a place. Now, I say sacral black hole to like honestly kind of make like a bit of a like, what did she say? Because I'm also going to say something else really bold here. The generator is the only person that can kill people every day. Literally, over and over again, generators can kill people every day by just completely depleting energy. Generators are like the number one renewable resource on the planet. Respond, put your energy into it, be satisfied, go to sleep, wake up, do it again the next day. That is the renewable energy, as long as you are actually putting the energy into the response that you have. That's what makes it satisfying. Spend the energy. There's a whole thing here for the sacral being. But if the sacral being isn't being asked, isn't hearing their response, isn't following their response, keeps trying to work at jobs they have no response for. Like, do you think that this is a renewable energy? No, it's not. It's a black hole. It's like, someone give me energy. This is probably, the generator that's also addicted to coffee. Like, Eek. And I'm not saying you're that way. I'm definitely not saying you're that way. In fact, entirely the opposite. So, if anything, you might be like, Sam, why are you talking about what I'm not in my reading? Because I'm going to give you the contrast. That's what this is. Well, I think that the generator, the not self, the deeply frustrated not self generator, is in many ways the energetic black hole. The true self generator, who is having a response, who is following it, who respects it, who puts their energy into the thing that they are attracted to, that they're having a response for. Like, this generator is satisfied. Now, if you put me, non sacral being, undefined sacral here, I have to amplify whatever you put me next to that's sacral. If you put the generator black hole next to me, watch what happens to me if I have to keep sitting there. Like, I already started to like just even like look sick doing that, right? Like they're just gonna want so much attention from me, and I can't fix them, right? Like it would just it would like it literally would drain whatever life I have left in me to sit next to that frustration and amplify that. But you take you, like you, I'm like, oh God, I want to sit next to you. I want to sit next to you so bad. I would love to spend a day sitting next to you. But honestly, that being said, honestly, I could probably actually only handle a couple of hours sitting next to you because on the other, can you even see what your body graph is doing to me? How excited I get about this? Like, I would love to amplify your satisfaction. I would love to amplify your satisfaction. If you are genuinely satisfied because you are in your own little world, writing your book, starting a coaching business, not having the pressure to actually have to go put your energy into the things that you have no response to, like, what is it like to hang out with you? When you ask the question of like, am I holding myself back? I'm like, if you're holding yourself back, I mean, you probably are going to be an excellent coach because your version of holding yourself back is probably like not other people's version. Like, other people are holding themselves back way more than you are. I don't think you're holding yourself back. I think you're living your life. I have a feeling that your stuff is going to be big post 2027. I don't doubt that you are totally developing something awesome right now. Like, I genuinely feel like I can feel it. And your feelings cognition, oh my goodness, how many of these am I going to have? Oh, your feelings cognition. Okay, so you only have one gate coming off of your sacral that makes channels. It's funny. Usually I'd be like, so you have one channel coming off your sacral, but no, you have 34 coming off of your sacral, but 34 just went and plugged into 57, 10, and 20. So you have three sacral channels. One of them's unconscious, one of them's conscious, another one's conscious, one's partially. You have a lot of conscious, unconscious stuff going on. There's a very good chance you're quite busy in your own little world. I'm just busy in my own little world. I'm just busy in my own little world. And then occasionally there's like a little bit of like, I want to call it a dead end. Like, I'm looking at channel of surrender in your graph, a little bit like a dead end. Because when I get to the ego, it's like, oh, I stopped. Like, to leave the ego, I still have to go back into this. I have to go back the way I came, kind of. And when I look at your root center, same thing. It's like I can leave the spleen and I can go down to the root, but from your root, I'm stuck. I have to go back up into the spleen. So to me, the root and the ego they're kind of dead ends. Your spleen, your sacral, your G, and your throat are just non-stop communicating with each other all the time. But I almost kind of feel like I have these almost like motor outliers. The ego's like, look, I'll show up to the party when the tribal stuff's necessary. And then I've got the channel of struggle, which, okay, this is very interesting because someone with that much of the integration network should, in theory, be a very self focused person. I don't want to say like narcissistic or arrogant or self obsessed or any of those things, but this is individual circuitry that is like deeply, deeply, deeply self empowerment, self empowerment. But as soon as you add gate 28, there's a thing that happens where like the whole quality of the integration network becomes a little bit more othered, as in like empowerment that can extend more so to the greater, I don't want to say greater population, it sounds like collective, but there's a quality of caring that happens when you attach the 28. And I've got the whole channel of struggle here. In many ways, gate 38 of the fighter is the entire driving force between behind the individuality in this person. How many times do they have 38 activated? One. I got a 38.4 in a 3-6 profile. What is their gate 10? I've got a 10.6 in detriment. See, even there, 10.6. The quality of role model in this person's behavior, the quality of 6, just in how this person actually lives out their life is amazing. I bet this person, like me, was like, I cannot wait to turn 30. We just both knew like something better is gonna happen at that point in my life. I'm honestly tempted to just say like, you please just enjoy where you are at. It sounds like you deserve it and you're doing very well, and I'm so happy for you. That's what I got to say about this. This was really nice. Thank you.